we have to think about education as like preparation for war, right? Or at least preparation for survival. Because when you get into this world, there's so many things, spiritually and psychologically and otherwise, that are designed to control you, that if you're not ready, you're going to get obliterated by this society.
In the book, right, I recommend everyone get Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. Also, Two Nations, Black and White, Separate, Hostile, and Unequal by Andrew Hacker. In Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Anderson says, the dominant white society felt that by stripping the black slave of his humanity, all his worldly possessions, his personal freedoms, and keeping him hopeless, that blacks would be forever non-competitive and powerless. Needless to say, the dominant society's experiment in social engineering worked.
Yeah, it did. Black Labor, White Wealth was the first book I ever read from Dr. Anderson. It changed my life.
Same here.
Yeah. He needs to be included in all the reparations conversations. That's one of the reasons that I don't believe that they're real serious, because he lives right there in D.C. They could have invited him to Capitol Hill to speak. Even Howard University doesn't have him come speak, because this idea of black people truly being empowered is scary and radical for a lot of people, you know. And but I appreciate Dr. Anderson for being radical. He's one of the people that gave me the courage to be radical when I first met him, and he's like a father to me. I love this man immensely. One of the greatest minds in the history of this country. So what he said there about the black man sort of being stripped of everything and making him uncompetitive is 100% true. I want you to walk down the street and just look at how many of our men have been led to believe that they cannot compete or stand toe to toe with the white man. Just think about it. You know, look. I mean, it's so many. Or there are also like sort of we've been ghettoized to some extent, the black man in particular, when it comes to economic opportunities. If you're a black man who is a rapper, a comedian, or an athlete, the road is completely clear for you. You can do whatever you want in this society. You're going to get a certain amount of respect for that. But if you show up as a black man who's an engineer, who wants to be a medical doctor, or who wants to go build rocket ships to Mars like Elon Musk, there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance because they're not used to that. Like if you go to a company like Google that doesn't hire a lot of black people to do engineering, they get their engineers from India. They'll import the engineers from India before they hire the black person down the street. But if you go to like say an office party, you know, when they want to have fun, they'll bring in some rapper, right, to entertain them, right? So to some extent, we're seen as the entertainment for other people, and we've embraced that, right? And as long as you're the clown, you'll never be the king. The king does not see himself as an equal to the clown.
We have to jump back. We spoke about how white people perceive us. We need to talk about how we perceive us and what we give attention to. A lot of this stems from, like, in the sense that the athlete is worshipped, the womanizer is worshipped, the aggressive person with no self-control who has fits of frustration and violence is worshipped. But the academic, the intellectual person is ignored. Coming home party for jail or going away party from jail is packed. Graduation party, no one's giving you. You can give your own. No, seriously, you can give your own graduation party, but who's the community's not going to give you a graduation party. So like the community has been so indoctrinated with the ideas from white people that they create this culture where they don't give any attention to things that are progressive. What that does now is a lot of children see that and they dumb down. I'm speaking from experience, seeing this in academics, bro. They dumb down themselves and they tend to move towards where you get attention. And I think that's one of the reasons we don't have, even though we do have engineers, that's the reason we don't have as much, because a lot of people get turned off because they're not getting attention for doing the right thing. That's why you have so much brilliant people in jail, because they're not thugs, bro. It's just they partake in actions, they get caught up. But it's like, where do I get attention from? Where do I get praise from?
Yeah, you said so many things that spark thoughts. First thing, attention is a valuable commodity. It's a multi-trillion-dollar commodity. That's how Mark Zuckerberg is worth over $100 billion, because he controls your attention on Facebook and Instagram, and as you're scrolling and all that, clicking and all that, and beefing back and forth on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, he's making a ton of money. Elon Musk is making billions, right? So attention is a commodity. Attention, a lot of attention is driven by things like media. This is why platforms like yours are so important, because it's the lack of ownership of media that has been one of the great weapons of mass destruction against black people. A lot of this was accelerated in the 1990s when Farrakhan was able to bring together 1 million black men for the purposes of something better. Well, then at that point, there was a lot of deregulation in media. So you had Clear Channel going out buying hundreds of radio stations, broadcasting the same dumbed down, self-destructive message. And that was, it really started in the 1990s. And it's just sort of, this is a continuation of that. Now, with that said, in addition to the ownership of black media, I think that they're also, in addition to that, we must also understand, just really as a national security issue in our community, the importance of us educating our own kids. Because in that education, you can inject self-esteem, self-awareness, and knowledge of self, so that the child does not get sort of sucked into every stupid trend, every fad, whatever. In addition to that, you compound that with critical thinking skill, right? So if I got a child who knows who they are, they've been educated on the dangers of things like alcohol, drugs, excessive womanizing, being stupid, thug life, all that. They've been educated on this. Then when they see that happen, they're not going to go follow the trend. They're not going to go do stupid stuff just to get attention. They're going to say, no, my father, I'm speaking to myself now. I sit here and I think, oh no, my dad told me that stuff will get you hooked. Or because my daddy showed me some heroin addicts when I was a kid. Here's what he used to do. He'd take me out the street and be like, see that motherfucker over there? I'd be like, yeah. He's like, well, he used to be the star of the football team. You want to be like him now? I'd be like, no. Because he's like laid out, strung out on drugs, right? So that has to be part of the educational process. We have to think about education as like preparation for war, right? Or at least preparation for survival. Because when you get into this world, there's so many things, spiritually and psychologically and otherwise, that are designed to control you, that if you're not ready, you're going to get obliterated by this society. So I think that, so to your point, when you see the nonsense getting all the attention, that is true. But the people that are really going to build the future, the people that are going to guide us out of this thing, are not going to be the sheep that follow the crowd. It's going to be those people who have that knowledge of self as well as skill, who are going to say, you know what, it's not as flashy to be an engineer, or it's not as cool to start my little small black-owned business, but I'm going to pour into this thing and I'm going to keep doing it while it's not cool. I'm going to feed it just like a little newborn ugly baby. And as I keep feeding this baby grows into something big.